All righty, here we go. Good morning. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Real Deal Sports. This Saturday morning, we welcome everybody. We're talking sports of all sorts. Yes, indeed, we are. God bless you.
Hey, nope, not yet. It's still a song going right now.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not
Oh,
yet. Because it's gonna
okay.
do the top of the hour thing, and then you could go.
Okay.
Let me
Okay. Let
turn my
me know.
camera on so you.
Then come back in. Then we go live. But we're live on our social media side. Good morning, JGrillz. You there,
What
Jay?
it do? What it do? What it do? How you doing, Rad man?
Doing well, doing well. We're live on the social media platforms, and we'll be getting on the radio shortly. Backspin is on vacation this week, so they're working. The production team is there working on it. Have us on the air shortly.
Backsman definitely deserves a vacation. He been out here working hard.
He certainly has. I mean, Backspin has been doing an awful lot, not only with producing, engineering our show each week, Real Deal Sports Show, but out there in the community with the various events. Juneteenth weekend, he was very busy last weekend. Hope you got a chance to check out the different events that Backspin and WLGZ HD2 The Beat 105.5 was at, getting ingrained in the Rochester community and becoming a regular stop in the community and keeping you up. So you get several more sources of keeping you in the community and community news and getting you into the community and getting you right there in the community. Actually, so Backspin, well-deserved vacation. Enjoy your vacation, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Yes, indeed. But JGrillz, we're getting into sports of all sorts today. The first thing I wanted to cover with you today is the Washington Commanders. Daniel Snyder, man, what, man? Things just get worse and worse with the Washington Commanders. I've never seen this type of front office from the CEO on down. I've never seen this type of leadership. And now the government's getting involved with the hearing house, with the committee, listening to his tapes, listening and finding out more and more. And it just seems to be that Daniel Snyder is the problem. He's one of the main problems. JGrillz, what you think?
Daniel Snyder is the problem. Daniel Snyder's always been a problem. If we look at the history of Daniel Snyder and what he's been doing to that organization, he ain't got no good came from it. Right, man. And honestly, if you ask me, George, if you ask me, Snyder got to go. He has to go. It all started with him not wanting to change the name. He got housed into changing the name. And now you're seeing all of this going on with how he's been treating all the women, how he's been degrading his wife. Yes. I mean, I'm sure we can go into it. It's been terrible. Daniel Snyder is a cancer in the NFL. I'm going to just put that out there.
And you're absolutely right. And on top of it, not only to his wife and family of how he treated the women of his organization. And you just heard about another woman winning a lawsuit from several years ago, how he had his hands all over her. He wouldn't take his hands off of her inside the limousine as they were going to a meeting or something, going to an event or something. And he had his hands everywhere but the right places, according to what came out from that testimony. And she did win the money. She did get paid. So that kind of tells you that something very negative happened in that situation. And then on top of it, on the business side of the National Football League, you're looking at, he had two different books and looked like he was cooking the books to not allow to cheat the other owners out of the money, because it's a 60-40 split roughly for every game. When you have a home game, you get 60% of the gate, and the visiting team gets 40%. But the way Daniel Snyder had his books working, it looked like he was cutting them. He was cheating them out of their 40%. They were only getting maybe 20-25% of a gate that they should have been getting 40%. And when you're talking 80,000 people or 60,000 people coming to a game, hey, that's a lot of money. That money adds up. That 40% is a nice chunk of change that you take back to your home city as an NFL owner. And just for that alone, to me, he should be fired. But what it tells me is that he's an owner. He knows some stuff probably on these other owners. And I think that might be, if they look into his books, they might start wanting to look into some of these other owners' books And I have a feeling, I guarantee you, their books is probably not as clean as their books should really be as well, JGrillz, because he should be fired. He should be out of the league. The other owners, to me, should have threw him out. He should have been kicked out as an owner, just like they did the guy with the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers, when he was dirty with his racial biasness and the whole 9 yards, they got rid of him right away. It's a reason why Daniel Snyder is still here.
Like you said, George, it's a reason why Daniel Snyder's still here. And when you look at all of the offices and the things that he holds within the NFL, being on the diversity committee and being at these top leadership positions, when it comes to the NFL leadership and in the NFL organization, that's what we're talking about. He is, he's well connected. But to me, what's more baffling and more of a joke is the fact that Roger Goodell not having the authority to take him out. I mean, what is Goodell doing? This is getting bad. It's getting worse and worse for the NFL, whether it's Deshaun Watson, whether it's Brian Flores, and now you got Daniel Snyder, and Goodell is just sitting there collecting all this revenue and all this money. What is he doing other than being a businessman, other than a business friend? I just don't understand it.
Yeah, it doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. And for your commissioner to say he can't get rid of or the other owners can't tell Goodell, say, hey, it's time for him to go. Goodell looked very poor the other day in that press conference. I mean, why have a press conference if you can't say anything or can't do anything? Where's your power? His power, I guess, is all on the players. It's all going after the players and going after the players and forcing them into situations. And speaking of players, Deshaun Watson, here we go again. We got now with the Daniel Snyder thing breaking, the Players Association is now backing Deshaun Watson because they're saying, hey, you want to suspend Deshaun Watson for up to a year or 4 games or 6 games. How can you suspend him when several owners, Irsay in Indianapolis, you got the Robert Kraft with the New England Patriots, who was involved with a women thing. None of these owners have been penalized or fined or anything of that nature. But how can you turn around and do it to the players? The same thing that you're accusing Deshaun Watson of doing. The owners have done the same thing, including Irsay, who was driving under the influence and pulled over by the police, who was arrested by the police for driving under the influence of taking all these pills, pain pills, and things of that nature, with a DUI possible charge against him. There was never no retribution to the owners. So how can you have retribution to the players when you're talking about basically the same thing? JGrillz, what you think?
I have to agree with you, and I have to agree with the Players Association. If we look at what's going on and we look at the charges, I mean, out of those 26 women, I believe 24 of them have been settled, if I'm not mistaken. So right now, he's only got about 4 civil lawsuits still remaining, and that's just waiting to get to the next level of dollar amount potentially. I don't want to take it there per se, but it seems like these things are going away a lot quicker than we had wanted to. I mean, we got about 40 days until the NFL season. I don't think that Roger Goodell has a right to suspend Deshaun Watson. I truly believe that all of these cases will be settled by the time that the season starts. But exactly, when you look at a guy like Robert Kraft, who was in Orlando in the massage parlor accused of the same things that Deshaun Watson was accused of, and nothing happens to him, how can you sit up there and try and suspend Deshaun Watson? I think the Cleveland Browns knew the suspension was coming, because if you look at the payroll for this next season, he's only getting paid $1 million. So if he does get suspended, if he does get a fine, when you look at those larger dollar amounts upcoming for the next 5 years, it's not really going to be taking too much of a pay hit.
Yeah, and people don't like that. To put that out in the street, that he has such a contract that it's only a little over $1 million for this season that the league could actually get from him anyway, because of the complexity and basically the smartness of his agent, as well as the general manager of the Cleveland Browns. And both of them are black men working together, and they put together a contract for a quality player that they see. Did he do something wrong? Maybe in the public's eye, possibly, but it wasn't illegal. He's never been arrested. He's never been charged with anything. It's just right now it's the court of public opinion, and it's up to the public opinion is the media. They're the ones who putting the word out and saying this and that. But with 20 of the 24 women settling their case this week with them, and Tony Busby, the attorney for the women, to come out and say, hey, we settled 20 of the 24, non-disclosure. We're not going to be able to say what happened. Obviously, it sounds like to the thinking man and thinking person out there in radio land and on the social media platforms that we're on, that they're get paid. They got paid. They got paid some money. I don't understand why Deshaun Watson didn't have his people, why he didn't pay these people or sooner, like a year ago. Why didn't we just pay the women and get it over with and go on with your career and go from there? And could have possibly played last season or been traded last season. I didn't get. I think he felt in his mind that he's right. But hey, man, the court of public opinion. Obviously, things now with these civil cases, and you never had civil cases until, from what I heard and remember, until the O.J. Simpson case. That's when you started hearing about the civil side of it. Even though you win or lose in court, then you turn around and you still got to pay your plaintiff or defendant. You still got to pay them some money. So it's very interesting to see how that transpired.
But right, man, to me, to be honest, this whole thing is still so weird to me. If you look at how things happen, if you look at Deshaun Watson when he was a top 5 quarterback in Houston, when he had his guys in DeAndre Hopkins and Bill O'Brien was the coach, and then you had his owners. And when you looked at what was going on, he declared he would never play for Houston again. This is going past 2 years ago, that 4-win season. He said he never wanted to play for them again. And his goal was to never play for Houston again. And as you see, what happened is now all of these cases started coming out, and all of these cases started to arise, and we started to see 20 women all accusing Deshaun Watson. So to me, it's still a weirdness on how this whole thing happened. I want to get down to the bottom of that.
That is a good point. When he decided that he wanted out of Houston, all of a sudden these cases started showing up. And obviously the team knew something about it because, heck, he was using some of the team's hotel facilities to have his some of these massages take place in. So obviously the team knew that he had physical therapy and he was using certain facilities or certain locations that the team authorized. So, the Houston Texans organization got their hands, they're very dirty. Their hands are dirty in this. They knew about this situation from the start. It seems like they allegedly have been involved because the paper trail is leading right back to the Houston Texans. And you notice, soon as it started leading back to the Houston Texans, you notice all of a sudden the cases got settled. 20 of the 24 cases a week ago. How ironic is that, JGrillz?
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. That's what we got to put our journalist hats on and our detective hats on, and we say, okay, this whole thing, like you said, right now we're in the court of the public. You know what I mean? The public has the right to have an opinion on Deshaun Watson, and the media is driving that. Like I said, I believe that all of these cases will be settled by the time the football season starts. I don't believe that Deshaun Watson should be suspended by the NFL when you have guys like Robert Kraft, the owner of the New England Patriots, going to the massage parlor, doing the same thing. All of this drew up because the player had an empowerment. Deshaun Watson stood his ground. He said he was not playing for Houston. Next thing you know, he gets slammed with 26 cases of women abuse and sexual abuse and sexual misconduct. And it's no coincidence to that. So as soon as we see a player who is standing up for himself, saying, well, this is what he's going to do, in the same franchise in Houston that made that horrendous comment about the inmates running the asylum. So as soon as you see that, now it's a black cloud hovering over Deshaun Watson. So I think this was a political ploy from the Houston Texans to misconduct the character of Deshaun Watson. And that's what I was playing out. But he's going to be back.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that wholeheartedly. I think it backfired on the Houston Texans. They had to pay him last year, and now they got involved in it even more. You found out how deeply involved they were into this as well. So we're definitely going to keep an eye on this, see what happens with the final 4 women. Will they settle? Will they take a settlement before or during or with a court case, which is now scheduled for 2023? Will that take place? And will Deshaun Watson be suspended? Because now they're setting the precedent with the owners. Hey, the owners haven't been suspended for their off the field discretions, and some of them were arrested. Were actually arrested and so forth. And this man has never been arrested, so it's going to be interesting. Training camp is less than 3 weeks away. the real training camp that gets you ready for the regular season. We'll be out at St. John Fisher here in Rochester, New York, covering the Buffalo Bills. We'll have all kinds of interviews like we always do right here on Real Deal Sports Show. And we take you from the training camp to the locker room and beyond throughout the upcoming NFL season. Can't believe it. And we'll, of course, close as we always do at Super Bowl 57. I think this is going to be. Hopefully, it'll be my 15th in a row. We've been there for the last 14. Myself, the Mighty Oba, JGrillz, you've been to the Atlanta one. I remember you in Atlanta with us down there in Atlanta, broadcasting down there, doing several shows and things of that nature. So we get ready to kick it off in about 3 weeks, and we'll take you all the way through Super Bowl 57 this year, scheduled in Arizona, out there in Arizona, in Phoenix, Arizona. I've been to 14 of them. I've been to Phoenix before. They laid the place out. They did a great. They laid it out for us. Allowed us to have all types of interviews and things of that nature. And we will get to that as well. Let's get to the tennis tournament there. I mean, not tennis, the golf, the LIV tour. What's your thoughts on the hypocrisy that now that the PGA has a competitor, that they're going to turn around and suspend anybody that plays with the competitor, with the new kid on the block, as they say, the Saudi Arab guys that are front footing the bill with the money, the big time prize money too. No cut. You play 54 holes, and it's the winner. The winner you win. So you're only playing 54 holes. You're not. There's no cut after day two. Day two, you usually have a cut. Then day 3 and 4, you play. It's up to almost 72 holes. So it's interesting with this. What do you think of the hypocrisy of the PGA, JGrillz?
I mean, when we look at it, George, if you're a basketball player, if you're a football player playing in the NFL, why in the heck would you be playing for the CFL? You know what I mean?
Yes.
When you look at the money, the sponsors, it's a bigger picture going on, and I don't really see it being much of a problem. I don't want my guys playing in that tournament. You're going to be playing at the PGA. You're getting paid to play. So, no, I can't have those other eyes, those wandering eyes looking at the LIV. I just can't do it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are not going to be watching the LIV because that's like you said. Why are you going over there and you're not playing with everybody. You're not playing with the best of the best. You're playing with some of the best. And it's a lot of the older guys jumping over there, or guys with injuries and things of that nature, who's taking the money, but the Tiger Woods who's still coming back to play. And a lot of these, Rory McIlroy, who's winning, he's won the last couple of tournaments, done very well. Those guys aren't going anywhere. They're sticking with the PGA because that is, like you said, that's the top team. They're not the farm team. This is the pro league, the Professional Golfers Association. And I think for them to go to this organization, it's showing you that the PGA is not perfect. Yeah, it's got some issues that it needs to maybe resolve with some of the players, but it's the best game in town. It's the top game. So if you go from the top game to the lower tier, it doesn't make sense at all. I don't get why they would want to go there to that league. And before I continue, I want to thank our sponsors, Rock Palm Brokers, 559 State Street, 585-262-9920. See Sammy and the crew at Rock Palm Brokers. Each week, hey, we hit Father's Day. I hope you got your dad and your significant other some nice bling or a watch or some jewelry or something for the summer season. Could have been sporting some of that all week at the International Jazz Festival. I saw Bobby Rush last night. Oh, beautiful blues artist, did his thing. Lisa Fisher earlier in the week. I saw some people that I think had on some bling from Rock Palm Broker, especially those nice watches that he has on sale right now. So up over there, Sammy, for your significant other, 559 State Street. You already went through Mother's Day, Father's Day. Now it's time to get something for yourself. Get something for yourself at Rock Palm Brokers. And then while you were there, just step down the street just a few doors from 559 State Street to 533 State Street to another supporter of sponsor of Real Deal Sports Show, Cerebral Kingdom Bookstore, the African-American bookstore. Zakia and Albert are there. Come check them out for the books and newspapers and all the sources that you want to read, all the reading material. If you're going on summer vacation, school just ended yesterday, hey, stop down there and pick up a book. So if you're driving, flying, whatever way it means of transportation, get your kids some books so they can read on the travel, on the plane or on the bus or in the car. They don't need all those video games. Kick some video games or whatever, but also take a book and see Zakia and them in Albert at Cerebral Kingdom, 533 State Street. And of course, Challenger Community News, Rochester and rest of New York's largest weekly African-American newspaper. Pick it up each week free of charge or go online to thechallengernews.com. That's thechallengernews.com. And you can read it online, pick it up in person, and you'll be reading about the Rochester Black Authors Association. They hosted their 6th annual Black Authors Expo. You get a recap of the winners of the Corey Tanksley, the first ever Corey Tanksley Award, and that Corey Lamar Tanksley, beautiful brother. Man, I was shocked that he passed away. He made his transition back in 2021, and they have an award now in his name, Corey Lamar Tanksley, Entrepreneur of the Year Award. And also they give out the Marsha R. Jones Extraordinary Youth Writing Award as well. Read about the winners of those awards. Marsha Jones was a longtime writer at Challenger Community News. She wrote for various other publications, national publications as well. We miss Marsha Jones, and we definitely miss Corey Lamar Tanksley. And thank you so much for the Rochester Black Authors Association, lifting them up, lifting their name up, and allowing the young people to know who they were. Because you knew Corey and Marsha Jones, right, JGrillz?
Oh, yeah, Corey. I mean, when we were doing a lot of events back in 2019, 2020, when we were just coming out with the sports podcast, They'll Talk Upstate, and Corey came to a lot of our events. He was always present, always supporting. And, you know, he had a heart for Black authors in this city and in this community. And he's definitely missed, but his legacy will surely live on.
That's right. So that article is in this week's Challenger with the winners of those awards. Check that out each week. That's a reason to check out Challenger Community News. You got political advertisers talking. You got a lot of good news you can use. Health matters issues that you can always check out. Healthy summer eating tips. Got healthy summer eating tips with our girl Melanie. Talking that. So you get a full run from sports, entertainment, the whole 9 yards. I even have my review of the Jazz Festival. The first half of the Jazz Festival is in there this week's edition as well. So Challenger Community News.
Can we applaud Rochester real quick for that Jazz Festival and just how peaceful it was, just how beautiful it was. We had the likes of Robin Thicke, Sheila E., Judah Seeley. It was just a great time. Great family fun. I saw older people there. I saw babies there, all the way up from babies to about 80 years old. And it was just such a peaceful, beautiful time.
Absolutely. And it's the last day of the event is today. But you're absolutely right. There's some great artists. Check out the reviews. The Lisa Fisher, I can give you a heads up listening audience. Lisa Fisher to me was the best artist, vocalist, the best vocalist of the week. She was outstanding back on Monday night. Spiral Gyro out on the stage was outstanding as well on the same night. To walk out of the Temple building and go right across to Parcel 5 and catch Spiral Gyro, they were outstanding. Took me back to the 80s. I was thought I was back in college out there listening to Jay Silverstein and his crew get down out there on Monday night. So yeah, it's been a fabulous week. Tons of entertainment. Jeremy Pelt, excellent trumpeter. Had excellent performances at Kilbourne Hall. The guy is an outstanding legend. There's a lot of legends. And Bobby Rush, he came with his X-rated show last night at the Hyatt Regency. The blues artist, he gave some great stories. And one quick one, he was saying about back in 1951, he was doing a performance somewhere where he was behind the curtain singing, and the people in the audience was mostly all white, and they just didn't want to see his face. Can you believe that, man? The guy, he had to perform his show behind the curtain, and they just had some other white people out on the stage standing around doing a little thing, two-step or something. But he was the main guy. He was the singer, and he said and he was just saying we've come a long ways where he can be in front of the curtain. And matter of fact, he went down in the audience and was singing and talking with people last night. But the great legend, Bobby Rush, the legendary Bobby Rush, was in town with great stories telling about how it was. And in 1951 wasn't that long ago, JGrillz.
No, it wasn't. And, closing out the show tonight is Rochester's own. We got to shout out to town. Danielle Ponder will be on stage tonight. And I think that's going to be a pretty beautiful show as well.
Oh, definitely. Got to go see Danielle Ponder. But definitely check out those articles in Challenger Community News, and we'll keep you abreast of what's going on. All this news you can use sports-wise, and we always add in a little bit more to you. And remember, each week we always free Brittany Griner as well.
Free Brittany Griner.
Free her. She deserves to be home with her family. She didn't do anything wrong. Get her out of Russia. U.S., get her out of Russia. Get her home. And also, I dedicate the show to the victims, the Buffalo 10, who was victims of dastardly act over there. Each week, we dedicate the show to the Buffalo 10.
And it's getting sickening, George. I'm not sure if you saw this, but we all know Kyle Rittenhouse, who got acquitted for killing that man over in Wisconsin. And now it's coming out that he has a video game, literally a video game where he's shooting down fake media and fake news. I mean, yes, he's got a video game right now being released. He's shooting down fake media and fake news in a game. It's really ridiculous.
Oh, that's disgusting that this guy can come out and make money off of killing somebody, out of this, outright murdering somebody. This young man can make money off of that. That's only in America you allow nonsense like that to happen, and that's so disrespectful to the people, the families that lost their lives, to him coming over there shooting people, acting like he's supposed to be law and order.
And to make it even worse, George, he's losing the money he's getting for the video game to fund his media defamation suit.
Wow.
I mean, come on now. How sickening can it get?
Wow.
They wonder why these things still happen.
Exactly. That's a good point. You wonder why these things still happen and happen like that, because that's terrible that they're allowing him to make money off of more violence, a video game,
right?
And he's shooting down people. I was unaware of that, JGrillz. Thanks for bringing that up and allowing our audience to know and be aware of things like that's happening around the world, and right here in the United States. A lot of things going in that kangaroo court, the Supreme Court. That's a whole nother story right there. That's a whole nother conversation. I don't know who those clowns are. They want people to have more guns and they want to control the women's bodies, man.
I don't know if we qualified to speak. I mean, we can definitely have an opinion, but we got to get that pen, that real pen over those black women, those women in general, and I want to hear what they have to say.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's a good point. Maybe they're taking us back to 1951 to what Bobby Rush was talking about last night. Man, they're trying to take us back to 1951. Terrible. Man, y'all ridiculous with this nonsense. We got to get things straight. But hey, remember last week we talked about the big three? The big three. Now you got the big three. You got the three-headed monsters team that Mohad Abdul Rauf to Rasheed Lewis. These guys are coming out of the retirement to playing the big three. And it was off to a good start. It kicked off last week. Ice Cube talked about how the NBA was trying to go after him. But hey, it's his idea. He's still rolling with it. He has a TV contract with CBS Sports Network. And you can see more games later today on CBS Sports Network. Check your local listing. What do you think of Ice Cube's big three?
I'm happy they're bringing it back. You know what I mean? When Cube originally did the big three, he had the likes of guys like Joe Johnson. You know what I mean? He always had a great concept and a great theme. And with COVID, eliminating the big three for those last couple of years, I felt like it was something missing in the summertime, because summertime big three has always been a vibe. It's always been a great. I'm not sure if you ever caught a game, but they always go to city to city, and it's just a family fun thing. So I think that the fact that they're bringing it back is huge, and it was missed. It was definitely missed.
Yeah, and it's into we're glad to see that's happening, and glad to see that he's benefiting from his idea and bringing it to fruition. And it's a good tournament. It's a good season, 3-on-3. People, it's summertime. It's something different. The people, and you get to see guys that used to play. You used to see a lot of name guys that are kept themselves in good enough shape to play half court, and they're playing ball. They're playing good quality basketball. So it's a fun season. So you can't go wrong with seeing that type of play. You just can't. I think the big three is here to stay. I think it's up to Ice Cube if he's going to merge it with the NBA, or is he going to keep it separate and keep growing it, because he's getting the eyeballs, he's getting the TV ratings. That's why it's on CBS Sports Radio. That's why it's in bigger arenas now. Yeah, he's in regular arenas that host NBA games during the regular season. So he's getting the audience, he's getting the eyeballs, and hey, glad to see this brother turn into such a shrewd businessman and fending off the NBA and how they're trying to come over and try to take the league or try to turn it in the direction that they want to turn it into. I think he keeps his mission going and keep doing what he's doing, because he's doing a very good job with the 3-on-3 league. It's a very good competitive league. You can't you join there, you keep it going, and you can't beat it. You can't beat that. It's a lot going on. So keep up the good work, Ice Cube. Here's to you, Ice Cube. And now we're ready to move into NBA draft. We're gonna get our draft specialist on with us. Before our draft specialist comes on with us, I want to say he's brought to you today by Firehouse Subs. Firehouse Subs, 2830 West Henrietta Road. Matter of fact, we'll be out there later today from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. for a live remote. A lot of giveaways, concert giveaway tickets. A lot of things are going to be given away today at Firehouse Subs, 2830 West Henrietta Road. Sponsors our next guest. And this Mr. Chris Gardner from Houston Roundball. Welcome to the Real Deal Sports Show. We're glad to have you back with us. And first, before you say anything, we're sorry for your loss of your mom, Elizabeth. I know, great lady, and I just want you to know that with the condolences from Real Deal Sports Show to Chris Gardner. Welcome to Real Deal Sports Show, Chris.
Thank you very much, George. Thank you for those words of comfort right there. Thank you for your gift as well and your support through this time that I've been taking care of my mom. She did pass away on June 15th. We had her services on this past Wednesday, June 22nd. But she's in a better place, so I'm confident in that.
I'm glad. I'm glad to hear. Oh, we're here to support you definitely and work with you in the whole 9 yards because you've been with us. We've been knowing you for quite some time and knowing the bond of you and your mom and taking care of your mom for these several years. So, hey, like you said, celebration of life and continues on, but life continues on for the living, as they say.
Yes.
And we just had the NBA draft. What was your analysis of this NBA 2022 NBA draft?
George, Thursday's draft is why I don't do mock drafts anymore. Because I would have been so wrong right from the jump. I was just so convinced that Orlando was going to take Jabari Smith, even though one of my colleagues I did not seek, obviously, because I had been spending so much time with funeral things with my mom, still taking care of, paperwork, all that kind of stuff. So when my colleague said Thursday around afternoon time that he said, man, word is Orlando's going to take Paolo Banchero. And I'm like, no. And then, of course, found out that Vegas, hours before, had started leaking out that the odds had changed and that it was looking that way. Vegas is never wrong. Looks like, George, they were on point way before most of us were. So Banchero to Orlando was a surprise. Chet going to OKC was not a surprise. But I know the Houston Rockets and Rocket fans are thrilled to pieces that Jabari Smith is a Houston Rocket.
Wow. What does that mean to the Houston Rockets?
Versatility. Jabari Smith can score. He can defend. So that's defense is one thing Rockets lacked so much last season, but he's another young, talented player to add to their growing young core of talented players. So him and Jalen Green should be a nice tandem going forward in the future. And then at 17, they got Tari Eason, another solid defensive player. Two guys who like playing defense, which the Rockets need much, much more of. So that's a great start. And then they added Ty Washington from Kentucky with their 29th pick via trade, stuff like that. So they got three guys who like playing defense and are good on both ends of the court, which is great news for me.
That is. Wow, that is great news because you cover the Houston Rockets, so you definitely have that time. JGrillz, question for Chris.
Well, when you talk about, Chris, first of all, condolences, yes, to your family. I know that you were going through a lot. But I will say this about your boy, Jabari Smith. I know that I know y'all hype right now. And aside from, his offensive repertoire, I mean, he was knocking down, 42% from three this year, knocking down 2 a game. I think that personally, Jabari being number one, I didn't really think that he was going to be the number one player. I like Paolo a lot better. I mean, coming from a much better program, averaging his 17 and 8 over at Duke. And then when you got Chet, he's a phenom in himself. You know what I mean? He had an outstanding season. 4 blocks a game. Bro was really doing his thing, averaging a double-double, 14 and 10. And once he grows into that frame at he's 195 right now, once he grows into that frame, I think he's going to be the best player in this draft.
Well, see, that's the biggest question I had with Chet is I don't believe he'll grow into his frame. He's so narrow-shouldered, narrow hips. His dad is a slender fella too, so that was probably his biggest gripe, or not say gripe, concern was if he will ever be able to get put on more pounds, keep him on, and not have it hurt his game. Because, you know, some guys just don't get heavy. And he might get stronger, but he may stay his whole career 7 feet 210. You know, and that's it. But he still might be effective inside and outside. He just may not be a physical kind of presence down low. He'll be more of those weak side, hip side, shot blocker kind of thing.
Yeah, like a Kristaps Porzingis. But when I look at a guy like, and I'm not in no way comparison Giannis and Chet, but you know, when Giannis got into the league, he was a skinny dude. And I'm not, and KD too. You know, when KD got into the league, he was a skinny dude. And they got those lengthy bodies, you know. I'm not asking him to put on an extra 50 pounds, you know. And when you look at his skill set, being able to stroke the ball like he does, I mean, offensively, I think this guy can really be a problem. Even if he don't grow into the frame all the way, I think his skill set offensively can be Dirk Nowitzki-esque.
Well, offensively, I don't really question his skill set. I just his physical stature or lack thereof will hurt him defensively if he's asked to bang down low in the post. If they keep him on the perimeter, he'll be okay. But physical. But one thing Chet does, despite his slender frame, is he does not shy away from contact.
Right.
There are some big dudes who weigh more and run from contact. They're like, man, I don't want to be down here on this block. You know, and that's a problem I have with some of the guys in the NBA, some of the bigger dudes. I'm like, you 6'10", 240, and you rather stand outside on the three-point line rather than get you behind down the block and go to work. So Chet, to his credit, he likes the contact. And if he does and is able to get stronger and keep on that weight, he's going to be a serious problem for the NBA.
I can't wait. And I guess the only other questions I have now, looking at this draft, it was a great draft. Honestly, in my opinion, one of the better drafts in the last couple of years since about 2018 with DeAndre Ayton, Luka, and Trey. I think this is going to be a very depthful draft, to be honest. I think that there's a lot of NBA players who are going to be around. But who's your winners and losers of the draft?
Well, until or unless the Knicks get Jalen Brunson, they're a loser. They're a loser. I mean, they're making all the moves to get him, freeing up cap space, and some of the picks they traded. They traded a lot of picks just for guys down the line. I mean, but the main goal for them is to get Jalen Brunson. Yesterday, it sounded like they were inching closer to being co-favorite with Dallas to get him. So if they do get Jalen, then all this stuff on draft night would have paid off. Now, you could argue if, I'm not sure Jalen Brunson, he's worth it if the Knicks pay him. You know, I'm worth $100 million if somebody will give it to me. But, you know, a 4-year, $100 million from Jalen Brunson, that's a lot.
That's asking a lot.
For a dude who's 5'10", 5'11", long term, I don't know about that. But that's the guy they want. That's the guy they're, really hanging their hat on. So good luck to him. I think the Rockets had a good draft. I think Detroit had a good draft. Detroit getting Jaden Ivey and Jalen Duren for basically Jeremy Grant. Right. I mean, yeah, and full disclosure, folks who are new to the Real Deal, new to me on the Real Deal, I'm a Detroit fan for going back 35 years. So, so getting both those young men, I'm not gonna do it on Jordan's show, but I was really like draft night, Detroit basketball. So, but those two, I think Rockets and Detroit had a very good draft. The Knicks is incomplete.
Yeah, I feel you.
But the Jeremy Grant, you feel that was worth to give him up, to paying that price to him to Portland. I thought him and the local kid here in Rochester, Isaiah Stewart, I thought they were mixing together well. Their line was just starting to gel.
Jeremy Grant, as soon as Detroit got Cade Cunningham, they just never clicked this season enough long term to see a long term future for Cade, Isaiah, Sadiq Bey, and Jeremy Grant. And Jeremy Grant is the oldest of that core, and the money he wanted long term, Detroit wasn't willing to go that high. And now they got Jalen Duren, who's 18 years old, won't be 19 until November. Jeremy Grant's 27, 28. So they just, went back in time 9-10 years. So that's the reason, rationale behind that move, sending him to Portland. And he gets a chance to play with a better player, star player in Dame, who is really wanting to get to the playoffs, make a push. I don't know if that's going to happen in the West, but still, he gets a better chance to do something in the Western Conference, whereas Detroit is still a little bit further away in getting to the playoffs than Portland is.
Very good. That's why we always ask for your inside analysis here. Also, Kenny Atkinson, he decided not to go to Charlotte. What do you think happened there? What are you hearing about that move?
Well, where it is, a couple of things. Where it is, the Hornets organization, and this goes to Michael Jordan, did not want to spend a lot of money on assistant coaches. And the Warriors gave Kenny Atkinson a hefty pay raise to stay on their staff. So, hey, if you're going to give me more money here to stay, and I don't get enough money for my own staff as head coach in another team, I'm still where I am, Golden State.
What does the future hold for Charlotte then? If he's not coming, what do you think is going to happen?
Steve Clifford, he's an old school guy. Steve Clifford likes, defense is important to him, and that's one thing the Hornets lack. So I was glad to see Michael Jordan not hire Mike D'Antoni, because you can not hire D'Antoni and still claim that you want to play defense. So that's just real about that. So Steve Clifford is more defensive minded coach than Mike D'Antoni. So we'll see if he can get the young Hornets to play defense, realize that there are two sides of the court in the NBA.
Absolutely. And Kyrie Irving, his name is still battling about, talking about 36 million a year. Wow, can that be true? He's gonna
We'll see.
Still, wow.
Kyrie is his own dude. Okay. And some folks say that nobody would turn down his player option of 36 million to become a free agent to take 6 million from the Lakers. Kyrie might, because he just walks to his own orchestra. Yeah. I mean, he's just that kind of dude.
Right.
So he holds a lot of cards, and I don't blame Brooklyn. The Nets do not want to give him a long-term contract. Wow, I wouldn't either. Would y'all?
No.
That's what Kyrie wants. He wants a long-term contract. He's played half the season, 3 straight years. So he can want a long-term deal. Brooklyn's like, no, we don't want all that. So then it's gonna be on Kyrie to see if he wants to take less money, less years from somewhere else. And then if he does, what's KD gonna do?
Right. What is he going to do? And I'm sure there's players that want to play with him. They could bring some guy. How about Bill? Bill, his name, he's another kid over with Washington. Will he be leaving Washington, do you think?
We take Brad at his word. He wants to stay with the Wizards. He really wants to be one of those players to play with one franchise throughout their whole career. So if he's true to that, then he's going to re-up for the Wizards for a lot of money, of course.
$250.
Wizards can offer him more than nobody else can, because he's a Wizard currently. I'd give him a 5-year, $250 million deal,
$250 million.
So so loyalty is one thing, but loyalty has a price. So,
and I don't think Bradley Beal's moving the needle. I mean, he's
not for me. No,
32 years old. No, he's going to be well into his 30s at the end of the contract. So I can't. If another thing, I can't do that. Stay in Washington, get your money.
And he started kind of showing his age recently. Yeah. So I don't want to pay a 32-year-old, then 33, 34, 35, 36, $50 million, and he's giving me 12 points a game.
He ain't Chris Paul.
And Chris Paul, as great as he is, come playoff time, the wear and tear.
Exactly.
It shows on you. So Father Time's undefeated. Y'all know it.
Yes, indeed. It definitely Father Time is really catching up with a lot of these guys. Chris Paul, I'm surprised he's still able to perform. But you notice when he gets into the play, he's the type of guy that you need to rest during the regular season a lot more, and then let him play majority of the playoff games. I don't know why Phoenix overused him the last 2 years during the regular season. My thoughts on him. I thought they could have did a better time management, imagine his game time, and then as you get into the playoffs or certain crucial games, play him a little more. But to me, they overused him, and he just burns out in the playoffs. He just can't help it. Father Time is there.
And that's part of where the training staff needs to tell the player, listen to us. We know you're a prideful guy. You want to play as many games as possible. But for the benefit of us in the playoffs, we need you to rest more. We got to rest you more than regular season, because we'll be fine. We're going to get to the playoffs. We need you to be healthy throughout the playoffs.
Absolutely, absolutely. Anything you seen on the portal with the college? You seen any moves or potential moves that's gonna help teams for the upcoming college basketball season when we get back to the fall winter season?
I guess the biggest news is North Carolina getting Pete Nance to cement in some folks' eyes the Tar Heels as the preseason #1 team as of June.
Right.
Those way too early top 25 looks. That's great for conversation during the summertime, but we'll see. And college basketball is so different because once you get to the tournament, it's one and done. It's
Right.
not a playoff series. North Carolina last year, before the tournament started, no one thought they'd get to the championship game. Nobody,
No.
except maybe people in North Carolina, because they were so inconsistent. But they started winning. They won 1 in a row, then 2 in a row. That's all you got to do. You get hot come March tournament time. Just take 6 wins, get the championship. It's not a series, not best of 7.
No, not at all. How about right there with your team that you cover, Houston Cougars? How's Houston? Are they bringing in some more players, some new players?
Yes, they talking about way too early looks. They are, I guess, consensus top 5 team for this coming season. Coach Kelvin Sampson got his first 5-star recruit. Jarris Walker, 6'7", 6'8" forward, who will probably be a one and done, most likely be one and done.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll be, I think he's projected as a late lottery pick for next year's draft. So the Cougars have done a lot with less. Now they have a chance to do a lot with more talent. So we'll see how that all works out.
Yes, and Calvin Sampson, he's been around a long time. He's kept Houston very competitive the last few years there. He's done a great job. Of course, the previous job with Oklahoma and some of the other schools he's been at. He's a great coach, and I know he's going to have that team ready. And now, like you're just saying, he's getting a blue chipper finally at Houston. So it should be an up-and-coming season. Can you tell everybody how they can stay in contact with you and get a hold of that?
Can
Yes,
I just
go ahead,
get
JGrillz.
I just got one question for Chris because Chris, I'm a Lakers fan, and it was very disappointing to see Dyson Daniels getting taken 8th overall. You know what I mean, with our pick to the Pelicans from the G League Ignite. It was so tough to see that. Now, can you just give us some insight on? I'm not expecting anything out of Sharif. Don't get me wrong. He's going to be playing summer league for us. But can you give us some insight on Scottie Pippen Jr. now that he's unsigned his 2-way deal with the Lakers?
He's not his dad. Let's put it like that. He's not, and I mean that especially on defense. He's not a dad like that. Okay, he's a solid player. He's a good passer. He's better probably offensively than defensively, but don't let the name fool you, that last name for you. He is not his dad. Okay, he could have a role with the Lakers eventually, but he is not his dad.
Wow. That says a lot right there. And the Lakers, they seem to be trying to do a major rebuild real quick. And Kyrie, some of these guys make so much money with their endorsements too. So you would say, man, why would somebody turn down $36 million to take $6 million to go somewhere else? It's because they still have endorsement money too. So they still raking in a lot of money. And they've been and he's been making money for many years now.
And Kyrie could make money in LA.
Yeah.
But you still got Russ there.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
Well, what's wrong with Russ? Everybody sees
Russ got it.
What's wrong with Russ, man? Everybody likes him, but
Russ is too proud. Okay, Russ needs to accept the fact what's best for the team, and probably him as eventually is to come off the bench.
I can't see. I hear you on the Lakers come off the bench, but I'm not going to say. He can definitely start on another team and have work. If he was at the Knicks right now, he'd still be averaging a triple-double.
All right, but as long as he's a Laker, what's best for him and the team is come off the bench. Now somewhere else, but as long as he's going, he's like John Wall. John Wall opted into his contract. I had a buddy yesterday. He said, "I don't know why John Wall did that." I was like, "You don't." $47.4 million is why he opted into the contract.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that makes very good sense. That makes a lot of sense. So we're going to see in a few weeks how these deals work out. Who's going to be making some deals, trades coming up, and things of that nature. Free agency. That's right. That's the other thing. Free agency coming up. So anything in closing, Chris?
I just want to know when John Wall and the Rockets are going to agree on a buyout, so John Wall can stop collecting checks from Miami and actually get back to playing basketball games on the court.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Chris Gardner, Houston Roundball, Houston Roundball Review. One more time, how can people get a hold of you?
Visit my website, HoustonRoundballReview.com, and also go to my YouTube channel, Houston Roundball Review. I'm doing more and more video content as well. So got clips from the Rockets press conference yesterday when they introduced their rookies, Jabari Smith, Tari Eason, and Ty Washington. Go to Houston Roundball Review on YouTube.
There you go. Well, that's why you're always on Real Deal Sports Show, because you're the insider. He's the NBA insider, college basketball insider. This man knows what he's talking about. Chris Gardner, thank you very much for coming on Real Deal Sports Show, and we'll have you on it. We'll see you again real soon.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, guys. Y'all take care.
Yes, sir.
All right, JGrillz, we got a couple minutes left in closing. Any other topics that you would like to cover?
Always good talking basketball with Chris. Shout out to Chris. And, I know he had to be ecstatic, like he said, getting Jabari Smith, who I thought was the third best player in the draft. Honestly, the fourth best player if you count Jaden Ivey. But, it's still to get him in the top 3, number 1 overall selected. So I got to give it to him. Now, what I want to look at and what I want to deal with is, it's a topic that's been going on that, a lot of the listening audience, I know they have an opinion on. And if you do, all you got to do is call us at 585.
Well, we're wrapping up to this week. We're gonna get to open the phone lines next week, JGrillz. We're wrapping up. We're wrapping up, but we're gonna get those phone lines opened up most likely next week. Get us some callers in here the next couple of weeks. We're gonna definitely get these callers' opinions on what's going on, not only with the NBA but NFL. Major League Baseball is heating up. The Yankees are red hot. The Astros played a heck of a game last night to beat the Yankees. You got Ghost Toronto. They barely beat the Yankees in that third game last weekend. Great series up there. The Yankees are red hot. Starting pitching is good. The bullpen with Clay Holmes look like they found somebody. He's acting like he's the next Mariano Rivera, this Clay Holmes kid, and coming out the bullpen. So the Yankees are right now on all. I've never seen them in my lifetime have 52 wins and 16 losses at this time of the season. I mean, they got 52 wins already, man. They just picking them up and slamming them down each week. So
you already punching your ticket for the World Series. We're gonna be in New York, huh?
It looks like it. And the Mets even got the nerve to have a good season so far. So it could be a Subway Series or my Blue Jays. God. My Blue Jays, if we can get some more relief pitching, we can still be in it. The White Sox are playing better. St. Louis Cardinals, here they come. They playing good ball. And the Angels, I don't know what's going on with the LA Angels. They just have Ohtani. That's all they have. Ohtani.
But George, this is what I want to do for the listening audience for next week. This is going to be a topic that I know we've already talked about it. Radman Fanatic, we've all discussed it. But LeBron James versus Steph Curry, career-wise, resume-wise, I want the listeners. Well, we ain't going to dive all too much in it right now. But next week, I want those opinions. I want them to call in LeBron James versus Steph Curry. I know people are going to have a lot to say.
All right, Sierra, what do you think? You have something to say on that topic, Sierra?
I'm a low-key basketball fan, so I mean, when it comes to two legends, I love LeBron, but at the same time, Steph Curry is super dope. His numbers don't lie. So, I mean, that's just my quick opinion on it. I'm not like the basketball connoisseur, but, I dibble and dabble a little bit.
A little bit, but football is more your thing?
Yeah, I like football for sure.
Well, we're going to hear a lot from you. We're going to talk a little football, too, next week to get you
involved
with that football. Thank you for coming in this week. And we want to thank our guest, Chris Gardner from Houston Roundball Review, and our listeners. Remember, we're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter with the show. You can check it out at George Radney at Radman on Twitter. You can catch the show there as well. If you missed the show or missed previous shows, check us out there. JGrillz, thank you for coming in, co-hosting this week.
Appreciate you, Radman.
We're gonna turn it over to the Queen of Rochester. Sierra Monet, the Queen. Right. All hail the Queen.
All right, y'all. We getting you ready for the Back in Time mix show. So make sure you stay locked in right here on the Beat 105.5.